And we welcome you inside of Schuford Gymnasium in this presentation of the South Atlantic Conference on the Bears Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing. One of the oldest rivalries in the SAC renewed again for the 80th time today as the Carson Newman Eagles traveled about 2.5 hours southeast here to Hickory to take on the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears. As we welcome you courtside, Eric Bach, Chris Rickenbaugh, delighted you're with us on this Saturday afternoon inside the shoe. So for LR, it's been a weird month. They took 23 days off over the holiday break because of a COVID pause. They went into the holiday break with a momentum-building win over Newberry, and then after the break on Wednesday, they lost a close 2-point game to UVA Wise. A little bit shorthanded in that game. A couple people back that didn't play in that game will be back today. They just felt like they left a lot out there on Wednesday. But today, a good measuring stick game against the reigning SAC champion in Carson Newman, a team that the Bears have already lost to this year by 15 up in Jefferson City, Tennessee. So a good measuring stick game to see where the Bears are moving into 2022. And for the Eagles on the flip side, the reigning SAC champs, they've been to 4 straight NCAA tournaments. Mike Mincy in his 11th year has really got this program rolling. But they did have a disappointing end to last year when they got bounced in the first round of both the SAC tournament and the NCAA tournament. So a little bit of revenge tour season this year for Carson Newman. Speaking of revenge, they got a big revenge road win over Catawba on Wednesday evening. That was the team that they lost to in the NCAA tournament. They've got the reigning SAC Player of the Year in Braylon Weichel, and we will talk about her throughout the broadcast as we take a look at our keys to the game presented by our friends at Fry Regional Medical Center. And Chris, these are the things that Graham Smith thought that the Bears needed to do better to win the Wise game on Wednesday night, and they'll try to do these things today against Carson Newman.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing I saw was rebounding. The Bears are averaging 38 rebounds per game, and that led to 16 second chance points on Wednesday, and that's going to be huge in today's game with this strong, powerful scoring offense of Carson Newman. So getting those second chance points and getting those rebounds. Mallory Sherrill had 10 rebounds in her first start of the season, had a really good day. Only 4 points, 2 assists, but Brandy Hudson had 27 points, 5 rebounds and 2 steals, and a huge breakout game on Wednesday.
So those are your keys to the game presented by Fry Regional Medical Center. We'll take a short break, come right back with the starting lineups here inside the shoe on the Bears Sports Network. Welcome back inside the shoe. Just minutes away from tip-off here between Carson Newman and Lenoir-Rhyne as we take a look at our starting lineups presented by Everett Chevrolet. Ready for a nicer, newer ride? Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac is always here to help by providing family-friendly customer care since 1967. Visit them in person at one of their 2 convenient locations in Hickory and Morganton, or start your search online at everettchevy.com today. It's about a 9-person rotation for Carson Newman, but these are the 5 that you'll see. Addison Bird, Braylon Weichel, Campbell Penland, Lindsey Taylor, who torched the Bears in the first meeting, and Skylar Boshears rounds out the Carson Newman starting lineup as we take a look at the LR starting lineup. One change, Tatum McBride gets her first start of the season in the backcourt with Emily Harmon. Brandy Hudson, who had a career-high 27 points in the loss to Wise on Wednesday night, starts in the front court. Obviously, Emily Harmon, she'll be in every starting lineup as long as she's healthy. Maddie Dillinger is one of the players that the Bears get back tonight after she missed last game. She was available, but it was her first day out of COVID protocols, and so she's at basically 100%, they say today. And Blakely Crooks, who also had a decent game on Wednesday, is in the starting lineup as well. As we take a look now at our head-to-head matchup in this game. It's one of the best ones you'll see in the entire league. You got the reigning SAC Player of the Year on your left in Braylon Weichel, and the reigning SAC Freshman of the Year in Emily Harmon, Chris, on the right.
Yeah, the biggest stats is the rebounds per game and the free throws. Emily Harmon, elite on the free throw line, 91%, and you can see 7.3 rebounds per game, which is huge. Harmon coming off, or her stats on the season, 16 points per game, and then you can see the rebounds per game, but she has 67 defensive rebounds on the season, so she's better rebounding on the defensive side, and that's what they're going to need huge today against the Eagles.
Weichel, second in the SAC in scoring at 19.5 points per game. She's following up her Player of the Year season with another great year for the Eagles. We'll take one more break, and then we have tip-off between Carson Newman and Lenoir-Rhyne coming up in just a couple minutes on the Bears Sports Network. Just moments away from tip-off here inside Schuford Gymnasium on the Bears Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing. Eric Bach and Chris Rickenbaugh, delighted you're along with us for this rivalry game on this January Saturday afternoon inside the Shoe. Bears starting lineups getting announced right now. This is actually the first time Carson Newman has been to Hickory to play the Bears since January of 2020, so it's been over 2 calendar years. 4 straight meetings in this series have taken place in Jefferson City, Tennessee. Carson Newman, oddly enough, has played in Hickory this season. They opened their season here in the SAC Peach Belt crossover. They split those 2 games, lost a hard-fought game in the season opener to Lander, who's a top 5 program in the country, and then they beat the brakes off of USC Aiken to finish off that event. But the first time Carson Newman's here to play the Bears inside Schuford Gymnasium in over 2 calendar years. So the reigning SAC champs are ready to roll. We'll see if the Bears are up to the challenge today. They feel like they're finally getting back on track now after the COVID pause. They had 4 games postponed over the holiday break, but they're back at full strength today and ready to give the Eagles their best shot. It's the freshman Dillinger and the junior Taylor will jump it up. And off we go. First of 2 today between Lenore Ryan and Carson Newman on the Bears Sports Network. We're glad you're here with us. Blakely Crooks, who had 8 first-half points and traveled there to start this one, but she had a really good offensive first half against UVA Wise and quieted down in the second half. So,
yeah, it looks like she was looking for McBride, but Carson Newman is going to score, so is Lenore Ryan going to be able to keep up? Averaging 82 points per game is Carson Newman, and they're going to put 2 on the board already.
Skylar Boshears with the shot. The junior from La Follette, Tennessee, averages just under 10 a game for the Eagles. Hayden McBride gets the start. Senior from Pleasant Hill, Ohio. There's Brandy Hudson, her first touch, coming off 27 points and has the first Bear 2 of this game. Before that 27-point output for Brandy, her career high in the Bear uniform was 18 against Carson Newman, as Boshears is 2 for 2 from the field. And Carson Newman leads it by a bucket, but Hudson had 18 points in that 15-point Bear loss on December 1st over in Jefferson City, Tennessee.
Don't be shocked to see if they start going to McBride really early. She's really comfortable beyond the arc. So swinging the ball outside and creating some space, but that's going to go off the foot of a Bear.
Well, I think they're about to give the ball back to the Bears as it went off the foot of Taylor, I think, down there, and they correctly change it with 9 on the shot clock. Emily Harmon will trigger. She's coming off not a great offensive game by her standards, 12 points, but only 4 of 16 shooting. There's a held ball as Penland tied up Maddie Dillinger, and the ball will go back to the Eagles. Michael looks in for Taylor. The pass was almost too tall. Boshears already has the first 4 and misses her first shot off the heel.
The Bears are just letting the Eagles have way too much space. Their defense, it looks like they're playing a zone, and they're just playing very loose.
Down on the floor with it is Addison Bird, and another held ball will go back to LR. With a shot clock reset for the Bears. Bears were very productive off these inbound plays as Harmon swishes her first jumper of the night. Good for her to see the first one go down after she struggled shooting the ball on Wednesday night.
Yeah, watch out if Emily Harmon starts to get hot early. That could be big trouble for the Eagles.
Should take a look at the Spangler replay. All replays presented by our friends at Spangler Restoration, but the Bears once again get a bucket off a baseline inbound play. And a steal for Harmon out at the top of the zone. Emily coast to coast drops it in off the glass.
Yeah, 2 steals on Wednesday, already off to 1 early in this first quarter for Harmon.
A little bit of a wrinkle for Graham Smith to start in a zone. Haven't seen that much this year from the Bears. As Bird gets an open look and buries it.
Yeah, that's gonna be something that I think we might see change at halftime. The Eagles have just way too much space, and being a shooting team, that's gonna be really tough to defend in that zone, playing a little bit loose.
Hard screen from Hudson. Dillinger, the leading rebounder on this team, who traveled, moved that pivot foot, they say. So the Bears had cleaned up their turnovers a bit before the pause, but turned it over a few too many times on Wednesday night. Talked with Graham Smith about the game in general and just said it's a cliche to say as Harmon grabs another steal and another bucket. So 2 run-out layups for Emily Harmon, and she's got 6 of the Bear 8 here in the first 3+ minutes. But as Weichel will take a 3, miss it off the right iron, a physical rebound for Hudson, but she gets whistled for the foul. But take a look at the Spangler replay. Almost an identical steal and layup for Emily Harmon as she had earlier in the quarter. Talking with Graham Smith about the Wednesday night game. Says it's cliche to say, but it's such a game of inches. And it really is. The Bears just couldn't find the inches. Missed a few free throws late as Crooks takes a long 2. It misses long. And Taylor grabs the rebound. She's the leading shooter in the SAC is Lindsey Taylor as Boshear's shot got partially blocked. And here come the Bears on a run out. Harmon pulls up and her shot gets rejected by Campbell Penland. So
I was expecting her to kind of settle down and look for the offense, but obviously off of 2 fast breaks, she was looking to score.
Hudson gets an easy bucket off the inbound. That's 2 baseline inbound plays for the Bears and 2 buckets here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Bears playing a lot faster in that it looks like the defense, they're just not allowing them to get down low.
Weichel hit plus a foul. McBride reached in and hit the reigning SAC Player of the Year on the arm, and her first 2 drops in. She'll have a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play. You saw in the open, she's one of the best free throw shooters in the league at 86%. Nothing but net. And Carson Newman will extend a little bit of full-court pressure here after the and 1. Crooks dribbles through it. Gets trapped in the corner and stepped out of bounds. So already 3 turnovers here. That was actually the 4th turnover for the Bears in the first 4.5 minutes. They averaged just under 20 turnovers a game, a number that keeps coaches up at night. And Graham Smith is no exception to that. They feed Taylor. She had an open look, gives it off to Bird, who was able to put in a much tougher look, and Carson Newman takes the lead back at 11-10. And then a steal for Weichel. She pulls up, missed it way short, and the ball will go back to LR as Bird knocks it out.
Yeah, LR looked really, really good off the start and started to get comfortable here in that last minute with Carson Newman shooting 45% from the field and 32% on the three-point line. It's going to be tough to defend, but Hudson, a quick layup. That's going to be 6 points on the day for her in the first 5 minutes.
6 for Hudson, 6 for Harmon. The only 2 Bears that have scored, the 2 leading scorers on this team. Taylor got in an uncomfortable spot and an air ball on the 3 there from Campbell Penland, who shoots it at 32% from the outside, but comes up empty that time. An action-packed first 5.5 minutes here inside the shoe. 1-point lead for the Bears over Carson Newman on the Bears Sports Network.